We're celebrating Christmas in July. I, at this moment, am in the middle of a heat wave, so depending on which weather app I look at, it's either 108 degrees or 113 degrees, or for those of you on the Celsius scale, that is either 42 or 45. So no matter which one of those numbers you're looking at, it's just yucky hot. So we are going to color some Christmas ornaments together, and I'm going to read a classic Christmas poem to get us in the mood, and then I have a funny poem that I found while looking for something classic to read, and then I have some lyrics to my favorite, or one of my favorite Christmas songs. I don't think I'm going to fill up this whole video with talking or content or whatever, so at the end I'll tell you goodbye and just let the rest of the video play out. But yeah, let's do Christmas in July, shall we? These ornaments are from Johanna Basford's Christmas coloring book, and you can either just leave them in the book like a regular coloring page, or you can do what I did and copy them onto some cardstock and cut them out when you're done and actually hang them on a little tree. I'm putting them in my little tabletop Christmas tree that I'm going to have in my craft room, and yeah, hang them from a garland. There's lots of things that you could do with it, and I'm just using Prismacolors and a few Pentel dual hybrid metallic pens. Gold, I think I'm going to be using gold and red and the green and the blue on these, and yeah, that's about it. It's pretty simple. The night before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in the hope that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mamma in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer, now Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Dunder and Blixen, on the top of the porch to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each tiny hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry! His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up in a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke, it encircled his head like a wreath. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." The night after Christmas. 'Twas the night after Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, excepting a mouse. The stockings were flung in haste over the chair, for hopes of St. Nicholas were no longer there. The children were restlessly tossing in bed, for the pie and the candy were heavy as lead, while Mamma in her kerchief and I in my gown had just made up our minds that we would not lie down. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my chair to see what was the matter. Away to the window I went with a dash, flung open the shutter and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of noonday to objects below. When what to my long anxious eyes should appear but a horse and a sleigh, both old-fashioned and queer, with a little old driver so solemn and slow, I knew at a glance it must be Dr. Bro. I drew in my head and was turning around, when upstairs came the doctor with scarcely a sound. He wore a thick overcoat made long ago, and the beard on his chin was white with the snow. He spoke a few words and went straight to his work. He felt all the pulses, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, with a nod of his head, to the chimney he goes. A spoonful of oil, ma'am, if you have it handy. No nuts and no raisins, no pies and no candy. These tender young stomachs cannot well digest all the sweets that they get. Toys and books are the best. But I know my advice will not find many friends, for the custom of Christmas the other way tends. The fathers and mothers and Santa Claus too are exceedingly blind. Well, a good night to you. And I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "These feastings and candies make doctors' bills right." Thought that was really funny. And my air conditioner is now on because, like I said, it's really hot. You'll notice on the rest of the ornaments that I'm not going to be showing every single part because a lot of it's very repetitive. It's very simple gradients. So just know that the parts that are not on camera are colored the exact same way as the parts that are on camera. So that's why I cut out a little bit, just because it would get boring. I can't play this song because of copyright issues, but I don't think it's public domain, but I don't want to risk it. So, "O Holy Night" is one of my favorite songs, so I'm going to read it. It's going to lose a little bit, but I would highly recommend, if you haven't heard it, go and listen to a version. Andrea Bocelli does a beautiful version in French, and I might read it in French too, since I'm practicing, learning, and it always sounds so pretty. So, here we go. O holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Saviour's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, O hear the angel voices. O night divine, O night when Christ was born, O night, O holy night, O night divine. Led by the light of faith serenely beaming, with glowing hearts by his cradle we stand. So led by a light of a star sweetly gleaming, here comes the wise men from Orient land. The King of Kings lay thus in lowly manger, in all our trials born to be our friend. He knows our need, to our weakness no stranger. Behold your King, before him lowly bend. Behold your King, before him bend. Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy and grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is the Lord, then ever, ever praise we, his power and glory evermore proclaim, his power and glory evermore proclaim. And that little noise at the end was our new little kitty, so pardon me, but I don't think it took away too much. He's climbing up on the counter. He's coming. Come on, kitty. I know it's slippery. Okay, I'm going to wrap up now. Thanks for spending this little Christmas moment with me, and I hope you find a way to celebrate Christmas in July yourself. Have a great day. Bye-bye.